Hi, everybody. This is Miss O, and I'm your teacher. Today, we're going to talk about measurements. You guys are going to make a slideshow. So let me show you basically how to do it, okay? So I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. So you're going to make a slideshow. This is what you'll have. And you see it says measurements by. And so right here is where you're going to write your name, right? Write your name on number 1, okay? So don't write name, write your actual name, okay? Ariani, Christopher, write your name, okay? No problem. Then after that, number 2, it says explain the relationship between kilograms and grams. Okay, you can make this bigger if you want, but basically there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, and so that's the answer. Convert between them, and then you could make an example of 1 kilogram, that's a G, kilogram equals 1,000 grams. And if you want to be really fancy, you might say like 4 kilograms is what? How many grams? Make sure you put the G, is 4,000 grams, right? So something like that is what I'm looking for, okay? You could use a different number to be original. That would be great, okay? So for slide number 3, it says, explain the relationship between liters and milliliters. And that's basically the same thing where milliliters, it takes 1,000 of them to make 1 liter, right? And remember that liters are for measuring liquid like water, milk, anything that is a liquid, okay? And so again, convert between them. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Okay, and in the next one, number 4, you explain the relationship between kilometers, centimeters, and meters. So the main one is called meters. That's why it says kilometers, centimeters, millimeters, right? Meters is the main one. So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. You see the word centi, like in Spanish, cien, right? And so there's 100 centimeters are in 1 meter, and there's 1,000 mil, 1,000 millimeters are in 1 meter. So how many centimeters are, you could say, I don't know, how many centimeters are in a kilometer, right? It would be 100 times 1,000. So it would be 100,000, right? 100,000. Remember, in English, we make a comma, not a period, when we're saying 100,000, okay? And convert between them. You know, these parts are easy because these numbers are with zeros, and you just have to move the 0 one way or another. Okay, so you want to explain that, and you could just give an example converting between them. You might say there are 4 meters equals, and then you might say 400 what? What is it? 400 what would be 4 meters? It's 400 centimeters. So you want to write something about that on your slide. Okay. The next one is number 5, and it is explain the relationship between miles, yards, feet, and inches. Now this one's more difficult, much more difficult. These are not the metric system. It is not the system that most countries use. Only the United States and England use these. Okay, but it is difficult. So for miles, you know, miles are how we measure how far something is, right? So a mile is pretty far. If I drive fast, I can go a mile in 1 minute on the highway. It's pretty far. If I want to walk 1 mile, probably it would take me a half hour, I think. So it's pretty far. So miles. So if I want to say miles, I'm going to say yards are pretty much shorter than that. A yard is probably the size of a meter or a yardstick, right? So it's pretty big, a yard. Remember the yardsticks that we had in the classroom? And it takes 1,760. You can put a comma here if you want. So that one you're free. If you want, you can. 1,760 yards makes 1 mile, right? And then for feet, remember the feet is about the size of a foot, or it's about the size of a piece of paper, right? And for feet, it's going to take 5,280 feet to make a mile, right? That's a lot of feet, right? So 1 foot, 2 or more feet. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. Okay, so that's a lot. And then, of course, I hope you know by now, for inches, it is 12 inches makes 1 foot. 12 inches makes 1 foot. So if you want, and you did this in class, how many feet is 1 yard? Is 3. So you could do like 36 inches is how many yards, right? How many yards is 36 inches, right? You should know the answer. We did that in class, okay? Well, then if you want to be very complicated, how many inches are in 1 mile? Ooh, that's difficult. You have to do some multiplication, right? We were starting small and getting big. We need to do multiplication. How many inches are in 1 mile? Ooh, difficult. So you want to give some examples here, okay? That's number 4. And the next one, number 6, it's about tons, pounds, and ounces. So tons, pounds, and ounces. Basically, a pound is something that's heavy. How heavy is it? Well, it takes 2,000 of them to make a ton. I always remember that a ton is 1 elephant. 1 elephant, right? So you could put a picture of an elephant here if you wanted to. And for ounces, ounces are very small. They are not heavy. And so it takes 16 ounces to make 1 pound. So how many ounces to make 1 ton, 1 elephant? How many ounces? 16 times 2,000 is 1 ton. How many ounces? If you look at any of your drinks, you will see that an ounce is written on the side. Even this is about 1 ounce, but you could look at it. It's so, oops, sorry, look at that. It's like 1 ounce of nail polish. Okay, look at your drink and see. And you could put a picture of an ounce, a bottle of something on here and say how many ounces is it. All right, ounces are for weighing things. Next one, number 6. This is for how much is something liquid or something that we could drink, right? And so we have gallons. We use this with gasoline, gallons, or maybe milk, a big gallon, right? And then we want to say how many gallons. That's the biggest one. Is 4 quarts makes 1 gallon. That's why it says quart, like quarter, 1 quarter, or the money quarter, right? 4 quarts is 1 gallon. These are called pints. Don't say pints, say pints. How many pints is 1 gallon? Is 8. 8 pints is 1 gallon. And then you could say how many cups, right? Is a little cup. 2 cups just makes 1 pint. 2 cups is 1 pint. So how many cups is 1 quart? It's going to be 2 times 8 makes 1 quart. Then how many makes 1 gallon? Is 2 times 8 times 4 is 1 gallon. So that's 32 cups is 1 gallon. The one we didn't study yet is called fluid ounces. And we saw ounces in the earlier slide. Fluid ounces, it takes 128 fluid ounces to make a gallon because it takes 8 of them to make 1 cup. 8 makes 1 cup. Okay, almost finished. Next one is going to be the last one, and it's time. We're talking about time. A century is 100, you probably know this, 100 years. A decade is 10 years, right? A year, right? And how many months makes 1 year? I know you know it is 12 months is 1 year, right? How many weeks, right? So we can pretty much say it is 52. This one we haven't studied yet. 52 weeks is 1 year. 52 weeks is 1 year. How many days makes 1 year? Is 365 usually. How many hours makes 1 day? I hope you know. 24. How many minutes in 1 hour is 16? 16. No. How many is 60? 60. And how many seconds makes 1 minute is 60. And so I want to know how many seconds, and then you can pick one is an hour. How many seconds is a month? This one, it depends, right? How many seconds is a year, right? That's pretty difficult. So that's what they mean by convert between them. When it says convert between them, you choose a small one and you say how many to make a big one. That is what they mean by convert between them. So you have to choose one and I want you to do the math. So when it says convert between them, you choose a small one and you say how many. Here you're gonna write, okay? So you can use this and start typing. Like it takes 60 times 60 seconds times 60 would equal 1 hour. And then you do the math. What is that? It is 3. Is it 3? I'm not going to tell you. You do the math, okay? So I gave you a hint. It's 3, 3, 3. So for every one of these questions, you have to give an example, okay? So that's how you do it. Have a good time with your slideshow. Bye.